I think it's on. Is it already on?
What?
Already on.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to this evening with Afflatus Africa's Learning for Change. And let's watch this video a bit about Afflatus Africa and what it has been able to accomplish in the past years.
When young people spend their time in events like this, it's very positive. It's, it gives me hope for the future of Rwanda.
Reading for Change is an event that enables people to get informed and know more about the world.
Reading platform. And that platform offers to the audience the real discovery.
This is the opportunity for anyone, regardless of class, to be able to be engaged in a very meaningful way.
And it's really good to be here in an event where people come who read and who talk about what they're reading.
Information is he who reads one page travels 1,000 miles.
Without reading, someone remains somewhere in the dark. It is as if you are remaining somewhere in the dark. You are very enclosed. You don't know what is happening on the other side of the world.
One of the things that reading does, it changes you if you want to change.
If you don't read, you are not different from someone who can't read.
Did you know that the number of books you read doesn't matter?
Reading for Change is inciting into young people. We learn a lot. Every category of people is able to attend.
In order for change, we need knowledge. In order for knowledge, we need to read. And I would love to encourage a lot of people at a younger age, even the youth and even older, to bring up that culture of beginning to read.
The work that you're doing is amazing, and I think this organization is really important.
Reading is a fundamental part of life. It helps you to become more brilliant. It helps you to solve your problems, and it can create a curiosity that allows you to move forward in every way of your life.
It's really a good opportunity to share information, experience, improvement in our different professions.
And it's a free event, and I hope we get to see you very soon.
Reading is very important.
And it's wonderful to be here to attend the Reading for Change program today.
I was really excited by the questions that were asked by the students and the energy about youth empowerment and youth engagement in the room.
Reading is very important to develop yourself and to develop knowledge about the world.
Reading for Change, very transformational, very good. These guys are doing very amazing things here in Kigali.
You'll meet lots of people, you'll have really good opportunities to talk about things that are important to you, and you'll learn a lot.
These events are worth listening and learning from, so that's really good.
I lead the change to challenge. I read for change.
I hope we learned something from that. There are more videos on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. For now, I think I can give the floor to our hostess for today. Zamda, the floor is yours and our guest speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Faiza. And I think I'll be starting by introducing myself. I go by the name of Zamda Kava Mahanga, and I think you already saw it on the flyer that we're traveling through a lot of people. And I think it's time to let our guests introduce ourselves and people know who we are going to be talking with, who's going to be with us at this evening. You're welcome.
Thank you, Zamda. Sorry about that. My name is Damalin Songa, and I'm the director of Internal Audit at African New Life Ministries. I'm married with 2 children, and it's a pleasure to be with you all today.
Thank you. You're welcome. So, and I think today everybody knows we are going to be talking about, we are going to be talking about self-love. Hope you people are getting me. Yeah, we are going to be talking about self-love this evening. I mean, self-love, everybody hears that word, but the way we understand that it's really different, or the way we value ourselves. Sometimes people be like, we have a self-love, but they are selfish. And sometimes the other time people, when they are self-loving themselves, the society be like, you are being selfish. Like we have misunderstanding that word. So I think it's a good thing to be having you at this session. You're going to be talking a lot about that. So I think you're welcome. You can start.
Thank you, Zamda. And yes, self-love is a big thing, and there are many other words used alongside self-love. But I think we'll start from defining what is self-love. Self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Self-love is also defined as the all-embracing acceptance and boundless love of our individual selves. Right? Are we together? Learning to love ourselves Pardon? Learning to love ourselves is a process, and in that process, we learn to honor our own story, to honor what we like and what we dislike, what we want, what we believe and what we don't believe, what we crave, how we want to be loved, how we think, how we learn, and what fills us up. The Bible, I'm a Christian, so allow me to refer to the Bible. The Bible says that one of the greatest commandments is love your neighbor as you love yourself. In that, it's taking us back to the understanding literally that there is no way you can say you love others when you do not love yourself, because there's a saying that says that goes by, you cannot give what you do not have. I have a bottle of water here. It's full, so I don't think this glass, which is empty, can fill my bottle, but I think this bottle, if I opened it, I can pour its content into the glass, and thereby I'm pouring out what the bottle has. As individuals, if we are not able to love ourselves, it's really hard for us to love those around us. And it's also hard for others around us to actually love us, because we do not know how to love ourselves. And there are many challenges in ourselves, and one of them is how we are brought up to punishments. Maybe a child is crying, and before they are carried off and soothed and understood for why they are crying, most spanking is happening, pinching and all that. So we grow up to deny our own emotions, thereby growing this child in such a way that they are not even understanding of what they are feeling themselves. I think the new age parenting for the children that we are raising in this generation should be punishing the bad behavior and not the emotion, because the emotion is just a display of how this child is feeling, but the bad behavior is what needs to actually be corrected. And before you punish, understand what is causing all this, because behavior is a reason. People act the way they do for a reason. Either the person in front of them, or the thing we need to do is understand our own emotions and how they are working within us, and when they come out. When they come out, what are you trying to portray? If you want to portray anger, how do you portray it? Are you portraying it in an abusive way? Are you hitting others? So that you understand you're better able to love yourself. Something else that stops us from loving ourselves is comparing ourselves to those around us. For some reason, we are all akin to comparing ourselves to the people around us, their achievements. We are comparing them to our achievements. But every person has their own timeline. Every person has their own way of doing things and their schedule according to God's plan for each and every one of us. I cannot compare myself to my sisters or my friends, not even my best friends. We are here to complement each other, not necessarily compete with each other. So do not compare yourself. You have your own purpose, and that purpose is unique to you. Understand that you are here to fulfill a purpose and pursue that purpose and fulfill it. We also fail to love ourselves because we are constantly seeking validation and approval from others. Praise yourself. Before someone else goes out to praise you, you should be the one to praise yourself. Be your number one fan. You have criticized yourself enough and it hasn't worked. Now it's time to change guns and now start celebrating yourself, validating yourself, telling yourself all these things that you want to hear from others so that you are better able to love yourself. And how can we develop self-love. One is we need to practice gratitude. Be grateful that first of all you're here, that you're an individual, that you are who you are made the way you are made. Your uniqueness should be celebrated, and the first and most primary way to celebrate it is to be grateful for it as an individual. Gratitude opens our hearts, and it's also scientifically proven to be a way of healing ourselves. Be grateful for yourself. When you wake up and you're grooming yourself, celebrate it that it's doing its ticket for its shape. Be grateful for it in the first place. Thank God for them, but they also have something else that is helping them do what they're supposed to, things that you're grateful for. Your family, the community you're living in, education, the fact that you're not buying air to breathe. All those are things that we can be grateful for and that can bring us to better self-love. Also, allow yourself to feel emotions, to feel all the emotions around you, to feel the pain, to feel the joy. Allow yourself to understand that when you're not okay, it's okay. Remember that at a certain point in life, you may not be happy, you may not be okay. Things may not be going as you would want them to go. Remember to know that it's okay. It's okay. We all get a little lost sometime, as Nightbird said in her song. We all get a little lost sometime, and it's all right to feel a little lost. That's bad emotions. Do not cling on to keep feeding the negative side and always retaliate with the better feelings or something that encourages you. Another thing is stop comparing yourself and do not worry about other people's emotions. Somehow in society, we are constantly competing, and in that comparison, we are killing ourselves to achieve that which is before us without comparing ourselves to others. We end up performing better. Focus on what is before you focus on what someone else is actually doing with themselves, because you do not know their own challenges, that they all deal with challenges differently. Before you celebrate another person's achievements by comparing yourself to them, celebrate what is before you and put in the effort to see that you're doing your very best. Remember that every time we are unable to love ourselves, we are also unable, we can't do our best to even achieve that which we are competing with others or comparing with others about. And also remember that self-love can be grown if you groom yourself. Although your value doesn't lie in what your body looks like, self-grooming or good grooming contributes a lot to how you will view yourself. Take time to take care of yourself, clean up, comb your hair, straighten up your hair for the ladies, find deodorants, kill the body odor, exercise, keep in shape, find ways to, because as you kill yourself physically, all these things that you're not doing to take care of yourself are killing your own love for you. Yeah. And also do not be afraid to let go of toxic people. Toxicity has a way of killing us internally, and what happens, do not be afraid to let go of toxic people in your life. I've seen people who have even had to let go of toxic family members because they're killing them. Learn to let go of people. There are many people who keep abusive relationships just because they think their value comes from that relationship. I'd encourage you to take a step and walk away out of that relationship and see how much more your potential will, come out and flourish. Yeah. Any questions? Okay, I'll continue. Trust yourself to...
Is this okay?
Yes, I'd ask if there are some questions, and I was going to continue if there are not any. Hello, so I'll continue.
After you present.
All right, thank you. Trust yourself to make good decisions for yourself. Before you give yourself of someone else, have you considered how you feel about that giving of yourself? Before you push yourself to, serve someone else, have you served yourself? We are required to take care of everyone else around us. Women, especially when we become mothers, we are taking care of the baby, we are taking care of you. Recollect, just taking care of everyone else and forgetting about the most important person, who is you. Take good decisions, and also remember to take time to yourself. Create time consistently to unwind and off from something we are full of. You can't. We are so loving of others that we are afraid to be loved. We are so caring of others that we are afraid for ourselves and to be over to you, Zanda.
Is it time for the question? I think I've got a question. Are you getting me, Jamali? Do you get me, Jamali? Do you get me? Hi, Damali.
Sorry, I think she's having internet issues, but I think she's back.
Hi, Damali, are you there? You can unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's time for the question, right?
Yes, please.
We've got a question from the people following us, like what's the difference between what's the difference between self-love and selfish?
Well, self-love is, like we said, being able to celebrate your own self and take care of your happiness while being selfish. Hello? You are muted.
Yeah, I just muted myself to not make some noise while speaking. Yeah, and I didn't hear what you've answered. The difference between self-love and the selfishness.
So self-love, after you have loved yourself, after you have given yourself all this love that we are talking about, you've taken care of your own well-being and your own happiness, you are supposed to go on and also take care of the well-being and happiness of others and celebrate them as well. However, when you become selfish, after you have received all this to yourself, or given all this to yourself, you're unable to pass it on to those around you, those who need it from you, those who need you to celebrate them, to love them, to celebrate their happiness or check on their well-being, fill their own cup. You're unable to pass it on.
Yeah, that's clear. That's clear. If you are, and I believe that if you are able to love yourself, you will get to know that other people need love, other people need to be taken care of, other people need to be heard, like all that. But if you're selfish, you'll be like,
yes.
And I think it comes from comparing. You'll be like, people
yeah,
can't
it comes
take
from
what they don't have. But I'm sure if
yes.
you
It comes from comparing, and then
yeah,
in comparing yourself, you are again unable to even pass on anything because you don't have it. You do not feel it inside of you. How can you pass it on to someone else?
So I think people following us should be able to differentiate all those things in their life. If you sometimes feel like people can't get what you don't have, I think that time you are wrong. Just learn to love yourself. We should learn to love ourselves. We should know who we are, what we want, and be grateful for what we have, right?
You need to first of all invest in learning who you are, what you want, how you're thinking, and then you'll be able to better understand those around you.
Yeah, I think you can't love yourself when you don't know yourself. You don't know what you need. You don't know what you want. You don't know you are not aware of your emotions that you have, it's too hard to control them if you don't know them, right? And I think about that, on the other side of inspiration, on the other side of working hard, and the other side of success, people tell us to compare ourselves with other people. Like there is time that comparing is positive and another time that comparing is negative. So what's the difference there? How can we compare ourselves to the other people in a positive way?
The best way to compare ourselves to people in a positive way is, first of all, why are you being inclined to them? Because they are doing something well. How are they able to do that something well? Either it starts from the inside of them, or there's another force that's pushing them. But usually, one thing that we need to know is that you cannot be your best if you do not feel your best. And you cannot do your best if you're not also your best. You have to first be in your best state to produce your best work. You cannot be productive when you let's say something else is pushing you down internally, emotionally, you're depressed, you're anxious. And then at the same time, I'm pushing you to give me certain results. Maybe we are work and I'm pushing you for results. But on another end, situations may be at home, may even be situations may be at home, you need to be able to deal with that. Zamda, will you please mute? You need to be able to deal with the situation that is pushing you down before you can be able to perform and deliver the results. Then that's when, after the results are out, you should be able to compare and say, why are my results different from maybe Zamda's? We are all doing the same thing. Maybe there is a learning gap that you have and you need to learn a new skill to be able to produce the same results. That's the only time we need to compare ourselves to others. When our results are different and it can be closed, the difference can be closed. Not when we are dealing with the same situation, but from different, situations internally or within ourselves. You need to deal, the platform needs to be level for all of us if we are going to compare ourselves.
Yes, thank you, Damali, for that. But still talking from that, if you are comparing yourself to the other person, like you're comparing your results, you're trying to see why your results are really different from the others. And sometimes if you do that, like on the first time you find that the other person is doing better than you. And on the second time you find that the other people is doing better than you. And from that you start feeling like you're not able to do something good. You can't reach your best, you can do your best. And I think at that time something wrong in you and you are not able to be confident. You are not confident to do anything. So that person, how can he or she help herself to grow the self-love for herself?
One thing that we need to understand is you can be doing the same thing, but your attitude towards it are different. If you understand your attitude towards something, it also helps you to understand your results in that same thing. For example, my job is audit. If I do not like to vouch and look into details of things, if I do not like that bit of my work, I'll never be able to deliver. And maybe we are 3 auditors and I feel that that is not something I want to do, but someone else has no problem doing that. Then definitely they'll perform better than me. So the first thing I need to understand before I critique my own results is, how do I feel about what I'm doing? Many people in this day and age are stuck into jobs or work that they're doing just for a paycheck, but do not actually like. And their performance is definitely average because they do not really like what they're doing. So the best thing is to understand, do you like what you're doing? If you like what you're doing, then what is missing? So once you understand what is missing, then you work to improve on what has actually been missing in your delivery skills or in your technique, and then you are better able.
You are muted.
There's a question in the chat.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat, and it says, is it possible to love others and forget to love yourself? Yes. The biggest temptation is trying to go out without trying to on a normal parent's life, especially mothers. I'm a mother, so I'll use that example. Your children will need your attention, so you're running to help them around. If you have help at home, your house helps. Maybe are also asking you for instructions, so you're quickening yourself to go give them the instructions they need. Your husband needs your services, your love, your care. You're providing meals, you're putting clothes in order, and you're forgetting to actually even brush your teeth. We are reading many stories of mothers online, mothers who are taking care of everyone in the family, but are not remembering to take care of themselves. They're in pajamas from morning to morning without even taking a bath. They don't even get a bathroom break privately. So yes, it's possible to do that, but at the end of it all, it runs you down and you feel empty and weary.
Okay. From that question, I would love to ask that there are some people who be like, if you are happy, I am happy too. The only reason for me to be happy is that you are happy. Is that sentence really correct to be used, or that is when a person is practicing loving others but forgetting themselves? Is that really happen that you can be happy, you are complete when the other person is happy, or you need to value the happiness of others, but at the other side, you have to care of yourself and do what makes you happy too.
So that requires balance and a lot of it. The first bad individuals here, you who's being happy and the other person who you want to be happy so that you're happy. Before trying to ensure that their happiness is making you happy, ensure that first of all, you're happy with who you are. In a relationship, we take care of the other person. For example, in a marriage, you take care of your spouse. You want to ensure that your spouse is happy, because when one spouse is not happy, they're definitely pulling your happiness down. But at the same time, in that same relationship, ensure that you as an individual are complete. Incomplete people are hard to complete at all. We need to go into a relationship complete, and then we can complete others.
Okay. Yes, I think that's clear on comparing yourself or thinking about other people. The other question is about the grooming ourselves. You're talking about grooming ourselves, like make our hair clean, like do some makeup for the people who love them, doing sport, drinking some water, doing art for the people who love it. I think some people don't realize that plays a big part on our lives, right? Some people think it's something to do. They don't plan about it, and they don't know how it affects our happiness and all that. What do you think about that?
First of all, I'll ask a question again and then continue speaking. When you look at yourself, when you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? Because if you do not like what you see, someone else is also not going to like what they see. And if they don't like what they see, they'll keep saying, that girl's hair is messy. That woman is too fat. She has a bad body odor. She has bad breath. So as they keep saying all those things, internally they are eating away at you, at your love for yourself. You think, oh, I stink. Oh, my hair is always messy. And slowly but surely, it's depleting your own cup of self-love. So every day as you wake up, as you groom yourself, as you prepare yourself to step out into the world, as you step out, do you like what you see? Because if someone else also doesn't like what they see, and you also don't like what you see, that's where the jeopardy starts. The first thing is love what you see. Love your hair before someone else loves it. So that even when they say, that lady always has rough hair, that's your style. That's what you want to be. If you are small, that person is skinny, you know that it's not just about being skinny, but you're healthy. Or if you're fat, it's not just about being fat, but are you healthy? Because there are also skinny people that are unhealthy.
Okay, so that also made me have another question that is about the standards that society have put there. There are some standards that if you're skinny, you're not good, and the other time when you are really fat, you're big, and they say that you're not beautiful. How comes that you will be in front of your mirror and you see how fat you are, you have a big face, and you have something like the society don't take as a beauty? How will you be able to convince yourself that you are beautiful, that you have a good smile, that you are all that? How can we, reject the what society says and be able to understand ourselves, to accept ourselves, and be able to be like, okay, I'm beautiful, okay, I have a good smile, okay, I have a big eyes, that's okay, and all that.
The first thing we need to understand about our looks is that we are more than our looks. We are more than our looks. The Bible, again, allow me to refer to the Bible, says in Psalm 139 that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. Beautifully and wonderfully made. It also says that we are made in God's image, each and every one of us, and yet we are all different. 8 billion of us in this world, and we are all different. And when God made everything, in Genesis, he says that whatever he made, he would say that, oh, he looked at it and it was good. So you are good, you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are wonderful, just the way you are. And your look is unique to you for a reason. Even when you put siblings together, even identical twins have something about them that will not be completely identical. So understand that the difference in your looks to the next person next to you is to be celebrated. And it's beautiful and worthy in its own way. Believe your creator. If you do not believe in yourself, at least believe your creator. And from there, continue actually are.
Thank you, Jamali. I think I have one question left because time is, yeah, it's almost the time, and I don't know if the people following us have another question. But the last question that I have is about the balance. Earlier, you've mentioned about how our parents sometimes they abuse us, they abuse our emotions, and sometimes they punish our emotions instead of punishing our bad behavior, right? So, and sometimes people grow where they don't put into consideration their emotions. They don't know how to differentiate their emotions. They don't know if they are sad, they don't know if they are mad, they don't differentiate those different emotions. So, how about the person who was born from that family with no emotional support? Can he learn to love herself or himself at that moment? Is that really possible? And how can he or she do that?
Yes, we all come from different families, and some abusive families, unfortunately. But we can all grow up and move on from and change for better. We can build ourselves up from where we are, from the deepest of the pits that we have fallen emotionally or in our self-love. We can rebuild. First of all, commit to making yourself love yourself as you are. Celebrate emotions. That is the first core. Understand yourself. Understand your emotions to actually build your self-love as you go. If you are not if you are not understood, give yourself an opportunity. Validate your own thoughts, validate your own emotions, and understand yourself so that you can actually appreciate your own self.
And thank you. I think if there is no other question, we are getting to the end of this session. And I would I think everyone was able to learn from this. I love the way you say that we should love ourselves so as to be able to love other people. And the other thing that I've got from it is that you can't be able to do the best when you don't know what the best you can do. Okay. And the other thing was about comparison. We don't have to compare ourselves to the other people. And when we do that, it's not about trying to put ourselves down, but it's all about looking the difference. How does the other people do? So you learn to grow. You know what something else that you can do to achieve your success and or other things. And the other thing is that it's all about grooming ourselves. We need to go there in the mirror and be able to see our beauty. We be able to see what's wrong with us because sometimes we are messed up and you really need to take care of yourself. Sometimes your skin is not really doing well and you need to take care of it. And it's all about that, the sport, drinking water, trying to do something which makes you happy. And another thing was all about to be able to move on from the toxic relationship or be able to know that we have the family. Sometimes people be like, it's my family, and you are not able to separate your life from theirs. You need to grow out from from your family and start to love yourself and fill the gap that you've gone with. So I think thank you for being here in this session. It was a good. It was my pleasure to be hosting you, and it was nice to hear from you. I think, Teresa, you can get back with the words and you can end.
Madi, for reminding us that we should give ourselves a break and show ourselves some love. Yeah. So thank you for joining us, both of you, sorry. And for those who were watching live on YouTube, thank you as well. And I hope you learned something and it's going to make an impact in your life from now on. Sorry for any inconveniences that may have happened before, and I hope that everything went well enough. So thank you very much for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe. There are many more events where this came from. And next week we are having Reading for Change. So don't miss out because it's going to be amazing. So make sure to invite someone and make sure to tune in yourself. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.